Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, and right here on Westwood One Sports. And Major League Baseball is dead. At least that's what I was told, given the events of this weekend and the trade deadline that has approached to today. Finally, Tarik Skubal is a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And this is what many are calling the death of Major League Baseball. 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. You can get involved by texting or calling this show for the next 3 hours from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. So why should you care? What is this? Who is Tarik Skubal, and what does it do to Major League Baseball that one man and one name could be the guy and the move that would kill a sport? A guy who's 7-5 this season, well, but has a 2.79 ERA and 116 strikeouts, a sub-1 WHIP. He's the best pitcher in the American League and has been the best pitcher in the American League for the past 2 seasons, a la the Cy Young, the award given to the best pitcher in the American League consecutive years. And he was on pace for a 3rd straight American League Cy Young. He is in the running for the best pitcher in baseball, and at the very minimum is top 3, if not number 1. His name is Tarik Skubal. And 58 hours ago, he was a member of the Detroit Tigers. And the Tigers were a team that wanted to compete. They wanted to win this year. This was an opportunity for the Tigers to be a good baseball team, to the point where they said, hey, you know what's even better? Let's bring in old man Justin Verlander, and we'll kind of carry him to wins. In an era where baseball has become so contentious, in an era where, between 2019 and 2024, youth baseball was down 20%, in an era where baseball is needed to make changes to grow like a pitch clock, well, the Tigers said, hey, wait a second, we can win. What happened in the middle of the year is the Detroit Tigers realized that was not a reality. They would not win, and instead they needed to sell at the trade deadline and do what teams who can't win do, and that's give away their stars to build pieces for 5 years from now, 8 years from now. How can we be good later? They looked around the league and said, well, we have the best pitcher in the American League. We have Tarik Skubal. We could certainly deal him away, and let's deal him to the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. You woke up today in Arlington, Texas. Big fan of the Rangers. You remember what it was like vividly 2023 to win a World Series. You woke up today in Spring, Texas. A big fan of the Houston Astros. You remember what it was like in 2022. Those could be the last 2 World Series that teams not named the LA Dodgers ever win. You remember what it was like. But what's baseball been like since then for you? In an era where yours truly works for them, the Savannah Bananas have been so popularized, and kids are wearing ice cream on their shorts, and everybody's got 16 different elbow guards and 7 wristbands, the LA Dodgers just makes sense. A super team in the sport of baseball just makes sense. The game itself, Rob Manfred, the commissioner, they want to push kids, fans, people. They want to say, hey, everybody, you got a small brain that wants good. You like good. You like seeing good. You like stars. What if we put every single star on the same roster? And that's the move here. Major League Baseball being dead, but that's not hyperbolic. You hear that Major League Baseball is dead because the best pitcher in the American League is going to now be a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers, but it's not hyperbolic to call Major League Baseball dead. If that's the take, if you walk in today to the water cooler and your buddies are saying, man, you see the Dodgers got another guy, and there's some fatigue to this because it seems like every 4 months, the Dodgers got that. Well, Dodgers are building around Shohei Ohtani now. Dodgers are building around Mookie Betts now. The Dodgers got the Yamamoto guy who's mowing guys down. They got the best pitching staff in Major League Baseball. They got Edwin Diaz. Every 4 months, you walk into the water cooler, and it's one new name that the LA Dodgers have built in a super team. And at that water cooler, you could walk in today, you could say the big take. I listened to the Drake Toll Show. You know what? You don't have to do this. You and I can have the friendly confines of you aggregating this take and not mentioning where you got it. I don't care. Make it your own. Well, you could walk to that table and you could say Major League Baseball is dead. And your friends can't really push back because there is a collective bargaining agreement on the table. And while those letters, CBA, in the year 2023 didn't matter to you, while most years those letters don't matter to you, while you don't really, your ears don't perk up to care, right? You don't hear collective bargaining agreement and think, oh, I need to hear more. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, this could be the future of baseball. No, but it is the case. We have to agree on a collective bargaining agreement before December 1st, 2026. That's when the current collective bargaining agreement expires. And what this is the owners and the players getting together and agreeing on how Major League Baseball should be effectively governed for the years to come. Now, here's what the owners want. The owners would like a salary cap. Please stop allowing Major League Baseball teams to pay whatever they want for players because we all can't keep up with who? The Los Angeles Dodgers. Here's your example. Here's the number you bring. The Dodgers project a $430 million luxury tax payroll for 2026. $430 million. The Marlins, on the other hand, could spend somewhere around $60 million for their roster this year. Did you hear that? The Dodgers, $430 million. The Marlins, roughly $60 million. Those are two rosters in the same sport in 2026, right now. And the way it works in Major League Baseball, whoa, you overspent. You spent too much money. We're going to charge you $180 million tax bill at the end of the season. But the Dodgers say, hey, wait a second. We have Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts. We have Blake Snell. We have Edwin Diaz. We have all these players. We have the richest players in the world. We're the richest organization in baseball at this point. We can pay that tax bill because we're going to keep winning. Our brand gets bigger. We have more stars. And, hey, let's go ahead and add Tarik Skubal. Yeah, let's go get the best player of the American League and add him to our roster. Now what? It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910. Is baseball dead? So the Dodgers paying $180 million and saying, that's fine. Works for us. We won the World Series again. That's 3 in a row. Nice job. Catch up, everybody else. Major League Baseball's owners, they look and they point and they say, wait. That $430 million can't be real. It can't be fair. We're the Marlins. We can't afford that. We're the Rangers. We don't want to pay that. We're the Phillies. Man, 430 is just a little bit too much for us. We're the Detroit Tigers, who just lost Tarik Skubal. And that $430 million, it's too much for us to piece together a roster with right now. So when the owners and the players go to the table, the collective bargaining agreement for the future of baseball, whether or not it'll be alive next year, the owners say clearly, we want a salary cap. The way the NBA does it, the way the NFL does it, somebody help us. We can't compete with the Dodgers who want to spend, and they wanted to spend before the rest of us did. And now we didn't spend the way that they spent, and because they spent, our hands are tied. The catalyst for a 2027 lockout is this. When the owners sit down in that room, when they say we need a salary cap, here's what the players say. Oh, no. I'm Mike Trout. No, I'm Shohei Ohtani. I don't know if you guys forgot this, but the way it's built right now, the way that your Major League Baseball is built right now, there is no salary cap. I can go play for the Dodgers. I can go make however much money I want to make wherever I want to make it. Why would I limit myself? Why would I sign a piece of paper that says salary cap that puts a ceiling on the money that I can make? Give me one example. Give me one explanation. Let's say this. You work at Deloitte. And again, you woke up today in Arlington, Texas. Go to the gym, go to Deloitte, work your job at Deloitte. What if you're making $125,000? Your trajectory in 4 years, Deloitte's a big company, is to make $250,000. But in the middle of that somewhere, Deloitte says, hey, we're going to cap the salary of this position at $150,000. No. Whoa. Hey, whoa. I'm supposed to make $250,000 in a couple years, right, guys? No, we capped it. Sign this paper. You wouldn't do it, would you? The players don't want to do it. The owners, Deloitte, they want to do it because that one company over there, that one firm, they're paying all their accountants way more than we are. Deloitte's paying way more than KPMG, right? Do you see how it works in the corporate world here? That's where Major League Baseball is. The players, the employees, they don't want the salary cap. They want to make as much money as possible. But the one company over there keeps stealing all the best players, stealing all the best employees, and paying them whatever they want. So they're going to sit in a room, and the owners are going to say, salary cap. And the players are going to say, no salary cap. And they will stay in that room. They will keep from signing a collective bargaining agreement until the two sides can come together on something. And that something is not going to be a salary cap. It's not going to be a salary floor. It's not going to be what the owners want or what the players want. There is no clear compromise here. And if there is no collective bargaining agreement, if there is no clear compromise, then in 2027, we just don't play baseball. Well, that can't be real. It's real. 1994. The last major lockout in Major League Baseball. Who won the World Series that year? Nobody. 2027, the lockout threat. It is a chasm between baseball's highest and lowest spenders. Elite clubs who are operating on a different level. And the LA Dodgers, who are in the middle of this. Baseball is dead. 310-840-4910. Now, look, I went and saw The Odyssey last night. And what I loved, I don't want to spoil any of it for you. Christopher Nolan's great, by the way. Incredible movie. You should watch it. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I love that Homer, I'm a history guy, right? So that Homer has held up this long. I like that somebody wrote a story a couple thousand years ago, and we're still telling that story, and it still rocks. Like Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway, hot, can be in it. And so I'm watching The Odyssey, and there are scenes where you never truly die, right? There's this whole mythology thing where you go to Hades, and when you're in Hades, you can kind of roam around and still, go about your business in a way. If I say Major League Baseball is dead, it doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean we're gone, that we're past the point of contention for baseball to be a popular thing again. But I can tell you, we may get to August 3rd of 2027 and look around and say, there's no Major League Baseball being played. There's no postseason. There's no World Series. All you have to watch is the Savannah Bananas, right? All you have to talk about is training camp and the NFL. A bunch of conjecture about LeBron James and whether or not he'll stay in Philadelphia. Because if these two sides, the owners and the players, can't sign a paper, baseball, for at least the time being, dies. Literally, just isn't played in 2027. But it might not be the Dodgers' fault. Oh, no. What did he say? 310-840-4910. Is baseball dead? It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. It might not be the Dodgers' fault. They're just taking advantage of the system. The system says you can, in essence, pay players as much as you want. There's a fine for you at the end of the year. There's a tax for you at the end of the year. But you can pay your roster whatever you want. The Dodgers said, okay, then we'll do that. Then we'll do the thing you're allowing us to do. But the Dodgers aren't the only ones. The New York Mets have a payroll that rivals the Dodgers. $380 million, $400 million, $420 million, $425 million. The Mets are doing the same thing. The Mets are paying players in the same way. They're just bad at it. This isn't just a Dodgers problem. Anyone in baseball can spend $1 billion this year on their roster. There is no salary cap. But the Dodgers, they're the ones who get the brunt of this. No, they got Tarik Skubal. Oh, they got the best guy. They got the best pitcher in the AL. Oh, it's the Dodgers' fault. They went and traded for him for 3 prospects who I've never even heard of. Yeah, they got River Ryan, Zaire Hope, and Brady Smith for the 2-time defending Cy Young winner, Tarik Skubal. Yeah. The Dodgers are known to have the best farm system. They're known to have the most lucrative trades, the most team-friendly trades. They're known to have the best organization in baseball. Man, it's great to play for Dave Roberts, the head coach of the LA Dodgers. Great to play alongside Shohei Ohtani. Huh? Love being here with Blake Snell. The Dodgers are just doing what everybody else can do. They're doing what the Marlins can do. They're doing what the Mets can do. But they're winning with it. They're doing it with infrastructure. They're doing it successfully. If the Mets were winning at this level, if the Mets were winning back-to-back World Series, which they're not and they aren't, it'd be different. But the players are going to walk into the collective bargaining agreement conversation and say, look, you owners don't want to pay us. But the Dodgers are paying their players and they're winning. The Mets are paying their players and losing. It's just proof that the salaries are not the issue. Teams can pay whoever they want, whatever they want, and it doesn't mean teams are going to win. The Mets aren't winning. Just because the Dodgers are winning and the Dodgers are doing it within the confines, the rules, the way that baseball works, what baseball allows them to do, doesn't mean the Dodgers are the ultimate bad guys. They've got the stars. The Dodgers have all the best players in Major League Baseball. They built the super team. But they're just doing what you're allowed to do. So why do people think it's the Dodgers that killed Major League Baseball? Well, they think that now all the players will look over at the Dodgers and say, wow, that team's just so good. We've got to have some sort of regulation. Fans, there's buzz that, the Dodgers, now they got Tarik Skubal. They added another elite player. That all Major League Baseball is going to come together and say, now we have to have a salary cap to stop the Dodgers. People think this is so dramatic that a salary cap is on its way so the Dodgers are no longer the big bad wolf. Got bad news for you. I don't think the players are about to cut their own salaries because one team is winning. They're going to force the owner's hands. And in the middle of that, when they force the owner's hands, who don't want their hands forced, we'll be in a lockout in 2027, and Major League Baseball will be at a standstill. That is bad for a growing game. 310-840-4910 is baseball dead. 4 texts have already rolled in. We'll get to those over the course of the show today. I'd like to take you from the diamond to the gridiron, where Jadeveon Clowney's a member of the Houston Texans, where the Rams are worried about an injury to Myles Garrett, and more importantly, just like Major League Baseball, the Kansas City Chiefs are dead. Why? Why is that the case? It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show. intercepted. Come on, man. I mean, don't call it the awful pass. Don't call it a terrible throw. It's Patrick Mahomes you're talking about. No. Mahomes himself. Mahomes himself had mentioned it's a pretty bad throw. And now there is serious concern over the Kansas City Chiefs. We love to do this during training camp. Guy does one bad thing. Oh, did you see, training camp stats for Jalen Hurts? He's only 47 for 78, and he has no touchdown. We love to pick apart training camp stats. But there could be some serious cracks in the foundation of the Kansas City Chiefs. It is the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports. Patrick Mahomes is coming back from ACL and LCL surgery. And Travis Kelce is old. Not to mention, defensively, all-pro cornerback Trent McDuffie's a member of the Los Angeles Rams. A couple other guys, Brian Cook and Jalen Watson, who departed in free agency, who have been key pieces of Spagnuolo's defense, that being the defensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs, over in Kansas City. And Steve Spagnuolo's defense significantly more vulnerable in 2026 than it was last year, given the loss of 4 to 5 contributors from 2025. That with your quarterback, ACL, LCL injury, with your tight end, your trusty steed, and Travis Kelce, who is now 47 years old, at least playing like it, with Cyrus Allen, rookie wide receiver, sustaining a lower left leg injury on Saturday during a special teams drill, with Xavier Worthy, another wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, who's well on his way to a breakout year. Him also hurt. Made an impressive deep catch, falls on the turf, lands on his right shoulder. Hey, he's out for a little bit. He's hurt. Right shoulder injury. All right, how bad is it? Well, we'll see. Because last season, he sustained a right shoulder injury that required surgery, and we're right back on the right shoulder. The Kansas City Chiefs could be in serious trouble with too many question marks going into 2026. And after tragedy struck in the Bieniemy household, Eric Bieniemy's son, shooting his mother and Eric Bieniemy's wife, thankfully, she is in stable condition and alive, that happening a week ago. The Kansas City Chiefs are in a position on the field and off the field of confusion, of disarray. And that's rare for what we would call a modern football dynasty. The Kansas City Chiefs could be in trouble. Major League Baseball could also be in trouble. Let's go out to the phone line, 310-840-4910. Is Major League Baseball dead? That is the question of the day. Dan from California, let's ask you, is Major League Baseball dead?
Yes.
That's it. Dan, thanks for the call. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Dan, what do you got for us?
Well, I've been a lifelong SF Giants fan since about 1970. We did win 3 World Series in 2010, 2012, and 2014, but I don't expect to win another in the next few decades because of the Dodgers and what they're doing. And I'm not sure baseball needs a salary cap, but I think they need to end these deferred contracts. I mean, when they got Shohei Ohtani for $1 or $2 million a year,
yeah. Then
when he retires, they're going to pay him $70 million a year. I think that should be disallowed. That just allowed them to, pay a Mookie Betts, a Freeman. Now they got the best pitcher in the American League, Skubal, and it just goes on because they have this extra money because of. They don't have to pay Ohtani $70 million a year right now. They can use that money for something else, and I think that should be disallowed. And maybe some modified salary cap, so they're not spending $400 and something million dollars, and what do you say, the Miami's spending $67 million or whatever. I mean, the A's used to be like that too. So I saw them up close compared to the Giants. The Giants are kind of upper middle payroll, but they got a ways to go to get it back to where it should be.
Yeah, Dan, I appreciate the thoughts, appreciate the call. Thanks for calling us.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, Dan in California, 310-840-4910. The preferred contracts being the real issue in Major League Baseball. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine the Kansas City Chiefs? Right? We'll keep it right there. They bring Patrick Mahomes into the room and say, hey, Pat, we get it. You're a generational quarterback. We'd like to sign you to a $500 million deal. But We're not going to give you this deferred money. We're going to defer this money until after your time with the Kansas City Chiefs is over. All right, sounds good. No, what? In Major League Baseball, you can sit down with Shohei Ohtani and say, you're a generational talent, and without a salary cap, we can pay you whatever you want. But we don't want to pay you right now. We'll pay you later. Is that okay? And Shohei Ohtani's like, all right, I got all these brand deals. Might as well just bet on myself, bet on my retirement, and make $70 million a year later, $100 million a year later. Fine. That's okay. In Major League Baseball, the deferred contract, the deferred money, being able to be paid after this. We talk about Bobby Bonilla, right, who's the member of the New York Mets that still gets $1 million every July. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Yeah. The fact it's a thing, the fact that it's something that can happen in Major League Baseball allows the Dodgers to become even stronger, allows the Dodgers to have an even bigger payroll and not have to dole out that money right now. Oh, and then by the way, when the deferred money is owed, guess what? We just won 10 of the last 12 World Series. We have all that money now. We have all the money in the world. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. 310-840-4910. Appreciate that call, Dan in California, on the salary cap. All of this coming off the heels of Tarik Skubal, the American League's best pitcher, defending Cy Young winner, two-time defending Cy Young winner, being traded from the Detroit Tigers to the L.A. Dodgers. And the rich get richer. Quite literally, the rich. That's the number. It's what you need to know. $430 million in money doled out to this year's roster. That's your luxury tax payroll. Leads to a $180 million tax bill at the end of the season. And now with Tarik Skubal in the fold, and a team that has the number one ranked farm system in all of baseball, a team who keeps drafting well, who keeps trading well, a team who continues to win in the margins. That squad gets richer. What do you mean win in the margins? Well, I mean, look at the Mets. They're spending in a similar way. And that's where I think it's a great call here, Dan from California, that what if we're not looking at the right thing? If the Mets can pay whatever they want, if the Marlins could pay whatever they want, if the Braves can pay whatever they want, if everybody can do what the Dodgers are doing, what's the other issue? There must be something else here. The Dodgers are just better than you at drafting, better than you at trading, better than you at working through these deferred contracts with stars to say, we'll pay you later. The Dodgers are just better than you organizationally. I'm not a Dodgers guy. I grew up born and bred a fan of the Texas Rangers, who play in the worst division in baseball, the AL West, a division that no one deserves to win. It's a shame that there has to be a playoff team that wins that division this year. I'm a fan of the Texas Rangers, who aren't winning in any of this. The Rangers aren't being held by the Dodgers. They're not looking at what LA is doing and saying, good, yep, we'll do it too. Nice, we'll finally pay our guys. No! I'm as frustrated as you are that the Dodgers have a super team. The Dodgers are the most stacked team in baseball. It is frustrating to me to watch. And if you're a Dodgers fan, man, you're a pig in slop. I don't blame you. I'd love if tomorrow, as a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, we built an NFL super team. I wouldn't complain if my team was this good. As a Dodgers fan, you shouldn't complain. But for the rest of us watching Major League Baseball, we're pointing and saying, I know the whole league. I know all the owners can do this. I know all the owners can pay at the level of the Dodgers. I know that everybody can have a $450 million roster. But no one can quite do it like LA because, damn it, they're the best organization in baseball. They're drafting correctly. They're trading correctly. And they built a super team. That's devastating for the rest of us baseball fans who like seeing competitive, gnarly, gritty baseball. Because what this should be is just the Dodgers dominating Major League Baseball for years to come. The Dodgers with the best bullpen, the best starting rotation. The Dodgers with the best team in the sport, being at the top of the sport until further notice. It is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Is there trouble in L.A., though? This time on the gridiron, the Rams are holding Myles Garrett out as he deals with, quote, a little soreness. That quote from Sean McVay in his lower half, keeping the pass rusher out for 3 consecutive days. Is this a red button moment? Do you open the glass and say, whoa, hey, Everybody's seeing this. Myles Garrett might be hurt. Everybody's seeing this. Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL. Was it too pie in the sky? Did we get too excited about Myles Garrett possibly being the Super Bowl catalyst for the LA Rams? Should we be worried about tightness, soreness for the NFL's best defensive player? The answer is no. The headline sparks something. You see immediately ESPN's like, oh, whoa. 3 days out for Myles Garrett. He's been out 3 days, guys. Run the article. Come on, post it. Come on, click it. Come on, click. Come on. But this is the same conversation we had with Pete Souza, ESPN and NBC Sports play-by-play, who co-hosted last week, is that Aaron Donald, this all-pro defensive stalwart who retired after 111 sacks in the National Football League from the LA Rams, Aaron Donald has not come back to the Rams yet. He's not announced that he'll be in the fold for 2026, ending his 2-year stint of retirement, returning to the NFL, and dominating again with LA. Donald hasn't returned, and by and large, the reason could be he doesn't want to go to training camp. Why would I want to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, go lift, go stand in the hot sun, go run around and do some drills, miss one play, miss one tackle, 1 2-hand touch? Now all the internet, Aaron Donald doesn't have it. Myles Garrett, same thing. A guy like that doesn't need training camp. Braden Fajoko played for the Chargers, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He joined the show last week and said, hey, there's some dudes who can just pick up football. They walk in, they pick it up, they succeed. Myles Garrett is that guy. A little soreness? Nah, nothing to it. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. We'll be all over this Tarik Skubal story the rest of the day. Dale in Grand Rapids sent a text in at 310-840-4910. This move is more on the Tigers than it is the Dodgers. Spineless for trading Skubal to L.A. Is that the case? Is this the Tigers' fault? Are all the owners in Major League Baseball, or all the teams in Major League Baseball upset with the L.A. Dodgers, but aren't they the ones who sent their best players to the L.A. Dodgers? Are the Tigers the root of the issue? Is it not really those guys in blue? Let's answer that question. And you, just like Dale, can be heard live on SiriusXM 375, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, or the Westwood One Sports app at 310-840-4910. When we come back, are the Detroit Tigers the true biggest losers of the day for sending Skubal out west? This is the Drake Toll Show.
Baseball's trade deadline is later today. Who will be on the move? We're on top of the trades.
What if it's the Detroit Tigers' fault after all? What about the rest of Major League Baseball, right? You're trading away your homegrown superstars, Tarik, Skubal, rather than extending them. You know, your mid-market, smaller market franchise. You want to you're like, oh, we got to get rid of somebody. Who do we get rid of? Our best player. Where does he go? The best team. You know, like everybody's mad at the Dodgers for getting Tarik, Skubal. But didn't the Detroit Tigers just send Tarik, Skubal to the Dodgers? Not the Phillies, not the Mets, not the Marlins, not the Rangers, not the San Francisco Giants. Didn't they? They just sent them. They sent Tarik, Skubal to the Dodgers. When non-elite teams consistently cash out generational players for a lottery ticket minor leaguer or to make a splash or to be like, oh, look at us. We did it. We sent the guy to the Dodgers. Come on. Yeah. Who's truly to blame? It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. Let's take it to the call lines. We have 3 calls back to back to back here. Dexter from Alabama. Good morning, Dexter. You're on the Drake Toll Show.
Man, my question of the day is, man, why the Yankees can't do what the Dodgers doing?
That's a great question, Dexter. Appreciate the call, man. Hope you have a good day. If there's an answer to it, it can be a one-word answer. Steinbrenner. For the New York Yankees, they're going to make an excuse. They're going to look across the league. They're going to look across the country and say, well, the LA Dodgers, they've got a massive, $billion-plus multi-billion dollars TV deal. Oh, they're so interlocked in a local TV deal. Oh, the Dodgers, they're at an advantage. Hal Steinbrenner has talked about it before. That the Dodgers, they possess utilize resources that allow them to pull away from the rest of baseball. The Yankees, and Hal Steinbrenner has said he's concerned that the Dodgers will keep winning championships because they just have it better than everybody else. Well, Hal Steinbrenner, aren't you the New York Yankees? Can't you can do this. Like, it's possible to do this. But may I go back to the fact that the Dodgers have the best farm system in baseball, number 1 organization in baseball. And number 2, the second point alongside that is the LA Dodgers in these trades. The LA Dodgers and their willingness to spend are boat racing the Yankees, who at this point have gone into submission. I think that's the issue. And I appreciate the call, Dexter in Alabama. That's the issue for the Yankees, is they're just giving up. Everyone else is seeing what the Dodgers are doing, and the owners are giving up so that hopefully the players look across the league and see a stacked super team, and the players say, fine, we'll do a salary cap so that the Dodgers can't keep being the Dodgers. Let's keep it on the phone line, 310-840-4910. Jennifer from California, a Giants fan. Jennifer, good morning.
Yes, long-time listener, big-time fan. I got to know about who trade day. Are we trading anybody?
The trade deadline is here. Jennifer, I appreciate your call. Hope you have a great day.
Okay.
Addie Bates, can I bring you in here? Good morning, Addie. Producer of the Drake Toll Show. Notable seam head. We're at a trade deadline this afternoon. Major League Baseball teams will have to know who they're sending and where they're dealing them. Are the San Francisco Giants, who need some help under the tutelage of their new head coach, Tony Vitello, are they in the market to add or subtract?
Ooh, I'm so sorry because I know you just said you're a fan of the show, but I see them being sellers. But the thing is, it's going to be difficult for them because they have some bad contracts on that team. Nobody really wants to take on the full Rafi Devers contract. These are long-term deals that are high, like every year. High AV every single year. Now, the biggest things that I could see them dealing Robbie Ray away. I could see them dealing Logan Webb away. Those aren't things that are going to help your team now, but in the long run, if you get some good prospects, if you shed some payroll, a couple years down the line. But for short-term, excitement, I'm so sorry to break the news to you. I do see them dealing away more than buying.
Yeah, the Dodgers are dominating right now and not too far away in San Francisco. I mean, it's still a good hop, skip, and a jump. 47-65 is where the Giants sit right now. And I think this Tony Vitello experiment is a really good opportunity for him to get paid millions of dollars for 2 years and then go right back to college baseball. That seemed to work so well for Big Tone. Thanks for the call, Jennifer. Appreciate you listening and appreciate you getting involved this morning. Up early with us. Let's go to the phone line again. Bruce in L.A. with the salary cap. Bruce, you're on the Drake Toll Show.
Hey, Drake, how you doing? I just wanted to comment. I believe Major League Baseball needs a salary cap badly. The National Football League, which is probably one of the best sports leagues in the world, if they didn't have a salary cap, Josh Allen would be playing for the Dallas Cowboys right now, or for one of the New York teams or one of the California teams. Same with Patrick Mahomes. There'd be no Kansas City Chief dynasty because he would have left by now, because the Chiefs wouldn't have been afford to compete with Dallas or the New York teams or the LA teams. Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, same thing. Green Bay Packers probably wouldn't even exist without a salary cap. So I think they should take their lead from there, and they really need a salary cap. Just very quickly, I believe the renaissance of the National Hockey League is due mostly, it's a lot of different factors, but mostly due to the fact that they took on a salary cap after their last work stoppage. NBA, the San Antonio Spurs just extended Victor Wembanyama in a salary cap league. They haven't got the best salary cap, but they got a salary cap. And if that was Major League Baseball, he's gone. So if Major League Baseball wants to compete with those other three sports and college football as well, they've got to bring in a salary cap.
Yeah, appreciate that call, Bruce. Appreciate you listening. The biggest note on salary cap, and it's why I struggle so much, is when I begin to break this down. And here's what I need: 310-840-4910. You can text the show, you can call the show. Here's what I need: I need somebody to push back on this. I need somebody to tell me I'm wrong on this. 310-840-4910. A salary cap is what's been great for, which, by the way, appreciate the call from Bruce there, 310-840-4910. But to think that the Dallas Cowboys would pay anybody, that's pretty. I don't know if Josh Allen, if there wasn't a salary cap in football, the Cowboys would be the Marlins. To think that Jerry Jones would be doling out money here is kind of a funny concept. But you're right. There would be teams in the NFL that would create super teams, and they would run right off into the sunset. The salary cap question I've got that no one can push back on is, let's say you work as a general manager at McDonald's. We'll make it McDonald's. And as a general manager at McDonald's, you make $100,000. These are just easy numbers, right? But you know that in 10 years of working at McDonald's as a general manager, you can make $200,000. That's the trajectory you're on. What if in the third year of your time as the general manager, McDonald's comes back and says, nah, we got a salary cap? What are you talking about, salary cap? I'm a general manager at McDonald's. What does that mean? We're going to cap you at $125,000, and we can't go any higher. What? You promised me that in 10 years I can make $200,000. You promised there wasn't a salary cap. I can just keep making more and more money. What do you mean salary cap? And not only does McDonald's tell you, hey, your salary's capped, but you got to sign this. Well, sign what? You got to sign the paper that agrees to the salary cap. That's what the owners are asking the players to do, is to effectively cut back on the resources they can gain. So in the collective bargaining agreement in Major League Baseball, in the collective bargaining agreement, the players will have to sit down, look the owners in the eyes, and say, hey, I'll do it. For the greater good. For the good of baseball, I'll do it. I'll do a salary cap. Oh, you really think the players want to do that? I don't want to do that as the GM at McDonald's. Let's go right back out to the phone line. Brad from Texas talking salary cap. Good morning, Brad. You're on the Drake Toll Show.
Hey, good morning. Good morning, Drake. Hey, I just wanted to talk about salary cap. I just think, with the Dodgers, it's just a big farce because the salary cap doesn't mean anything. Teams get hot, with Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
And then, they get cold. It just depends. It's like the Texas Rangers back in 23, they stopped, on a bad losing streak with Houston Astros, and then came back and won the World Series. And then with the salary cap, if you look at even like the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones pushes all this money back, kind of like with Shohei Ohtani, how they're pushing all this money back and back again. I still think with the salary cap, that's still going to happen in Major League Baseball. And so they're gonna sign players and just keep pushing that money back, for years and years and years until the players are 60 years old and still making $5 million a year. And also one last question. Hey, I've been in the draft lottery for the Savannah Bananas for 5 years and still haven't gotten any tickets. But hey, Drake, good talking to you. I appreciate you. I love your show.
Brad, it's a secret between me, you, and God. At Drake C. Toll Show on Twitter. You reach out somehow. We'll figure out something there. Brad from Texas, appreciate the call. 310-840-4910. That's another point in this that the players are going to argue. They'll come to the table, and the owners say, salary cap. We need a salary cap for the competitive balance of baseball. And the players will say, hey, competitive balance of baseball? Look at the Marlins. The Marlins have been the best story. The fans, have loved the Marlins. Everybody's excited because the Marlins are good. It's kind of funny that the Marlins, who have the lowest payroll in the sport, are good. Now, they've regressed the mean, but they're still above 500. They're 58 and 55. You know, they don't have much of a shot to compete for a wild card, but it's not that far out of the realm of possibility. I mean, shoot, they're still well in that hunt. Do I think the Marlins are a postseason team? No. But gosh, if the lowest spending team and the highest spending team are both within 10 games of each other, that's just the nature of the beast in Major League Baseball. At least that's what the players will say. The owners say salary caps. The Dodgers can't keep doing what they're doing. The players say, hey, salary cap, salary floor, none of that matters. Because look what Miami's doing. They're proving the parity of baseball. They're proving that the unpredictable nature of baseball, at the root of all of this, is why anybody can spend whatever they want. And it still doesn't guarantee you a championship. A la the Rangers beating the Diamondbacks, two teams that just didn't deserve to be there in 2023. What do you mean didn't deserve to be there? I mean, how do you deserve anything in baseball? There's no way to pin down the sport of baseball. That's what the players will say when the owners want to cut their money short. Addie Bates produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. It's Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. We'll keep getting to your calls and texts on the other side. Is baseball dead? I'll answer that question when we come back with our obituaries. This is the Drake Toll Show.
Make sure
It is August 3rd, 2026, and Major League Baseball is dead. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, locked on Big 12, and right here on Westwood One Sports. It might seem a little weird, right? That the radio host says Major League Baseball is dead, and then the radio host says that he works for the Savannah Bananas. We had games on ESPN on both Friday and Saturday, prime time. Hopefully you saw it. It was good. The Party Animals, the Texas Tailgaters, live from Boise State in the middle of their football field. Awesome weekend, right? Do you know why the Savannah Bananas were invented? Not necessarily to stop Tarik Skubal, the two-time defending Cy Young winner, the best pitcher in the American League. Not to stop the Tigers from trading Tarik Skubal to the Dodgers, but to try to make baseball fun. That's the moniker. What do you mean? What do you mean make baseball fun? Well, there's something different about the sport today than there was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago when you were a kid. I remember being entrenched, in that 2011 World Series. And I know that as a Texas Rangers fan, the Rangers not winning the World Series was devastating for me. But there was something so pure about the game of baseball when here comes Joe Buck on Fox, whether you loved or hated Joe Buck. And something so pure about going to the local ballpark and a chain link fence and $1 popcorn and a pickle pop. And man, maybe, just maybe, this Tuesday night, as the Little Rangers play the Little Cubs, 8U League Baseball, maybe just this Tuesday night, your mom will buy you a Nerds rope. Somewhere along the way, we got away from the fun of like the crack of the bat. Put me in, coach. And it became different to the point that youth baseball was down from 2019 to 2024, 20%, the most of any major sport. Youth baseball from 2019 to 2024 down 20%. That's where the advent of the Savannah Bananas comes in, and they want to make baseball fun and help grow youth baseball, grow the game. That's still the goal. But that's not the only the 2019 to 2024, that 20% in baseball being down and how travel ball is kind of killing it. That's not the only thing killing baseball. It's baseball doing this to baseball, right? As the best players in the world are being traded from places like Detroit to Los Angeles, and Tarik Skubal becomes a Dodger. Got a text from Alabama. This particular case is different. The Tigers, they're the ones who traded Tarik Skubal to the Dodgers. That's on them. Anyway, we're definitely going to have a lockout next year. The Dodgers are just doing the same thing Texas Tech is doing. I'm coincidentally a fan of both. Now, how we get a Dodgers and a Texas Tech fan, I have questions. He loves the organizations that are paying money out there. We are going to pay however much we want because that's what the rules allow us to do. That's it. That's why you do it. That's why you text the show. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. The Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. We're talking Major League Baseball being dead. Shoot, man. That text is a great segue. It's time for our obituaries. Dead today, Major League Baseball. We are complaining over and over and over that, oh my gosh, the Dodgers are ruining baseball. We're sending the players to the Dodgers. Oh, and by the way, the Dodgers aren't doing anything illegal. They're working within the confines of the rules of baseball. So how is baseball dead? Well, at least temporarily. The collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, has to be agreed upon, the owners and the players, giving the future of Major League Baseball, the rules that they will abide by for decades to come. They need to agree and sign that by December 1st of 2026. If they do not, if conversations continue past that, we won't play baseball on opening day in 2027. Well, why don't the owners and the players just compromise? Here's why they won't compromise. Because the owners very clearly want a salary cap. We can't keep letting the Dodgers pay $430 million for their roster. We can't. Not when we, the lowly Marlins, can't afford that. Not when we, the Milwaukee Brewers, can't afford that. Not when we, the Arizona Diamondbacks, can't afford that. Someone needs to put a salary cap on this. The players, on the other hand, they push back, and they ask a question that no one else can answer for me. You can try 310-840-4910. Can you pull the sword of Excalibur from the rock? 310-840-4910. The players ask this: what if you were working at Ace Hardware? And Ace Hardware said, hey, man, we got you here for $14 an hour. But after the first year working here, we'll move you to $15 an hour. Then 6 months into your tenure at Ace Hardware, they come back and say, hey, we're going to cap your salary, actually. You can only make $14 an hour. Sorry. You would be livid. You wouldn't sign that. No. So the players aren't going to either. I'm not going to sign something that says I can't make money. Don't make me do that. Make sense now? Do you see it now? Do you see why the owners and the players can't agree? The owners want to stop the Dodgers. The owners don't want to keep paying more and more and more and more money. And the players don't want their salaries capped. So we're stuck. And if they don't agree, we'll go into a lockout next year. Just like 1994. There was a lockout in 94. We didn't have a World Series. It was that dramatic then. It's that dramatic right now. And that's why baseball, at least temporarily, is dead. Also dead today, my eardrums. This weekend, Women's Professional Baseball League, which, by the way, I had my eyes glued to. It's the first professional baseball league for women in 70 years. And gals like Monet Davis, who you'll remember from the Little League World Series in 2014. Danae Benitez is taking the world by storm. Representing Team USA, a gal like Danae Benitez or Ashton Lansdell, some of the names to know out of the Women's Professional Baseball League, who've also played in the Banana Ball Championship League. They had their first game ever. And they invited Martha Reeves, she's got a Grammy somewhere in there, out to sing the national anthem. And this happened.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Oh, get it off. I'm done. That's enough. That's enough. Addie Bates produces the Drake Toll Show. Addie, Martha Reeves, the legend, had some trouble with our nation's anthem.
Yes, Martha and the Vandellas. That was from the 60s. Very famous Motown group, sings Heat Wave. Yeah, she said she couldn't hear, but I feel like even if you couldn't hear, we at least should know.
Yeah.
We can have like inner ear. We can hear things like, we can cover our ears and at least maybe guess.
We should do better than that, no matter what. We should do better than that. It was a valiant effort, but took the world by storm from Martha Reeves. Thank you, Martha, for that rendition of the national anthem. Alive today, my eardrums. This is a minor league baseball call, one of the best you're going to get out there, from a broadcaster in High A who's really worried his car is going to get hit in the parking lot by this home run.
I was thinking about this guy when there's a high fly ball. Please don't hit my truck. Way back there, and it's gone.
That's great. That revived me. That revived me. The hope would be that it didn't hit the minor league baseball broadcaster's truck. Did you know, and this is a fun fact you can bring to work with you today, minor league baseball broadcasters are paid on average around $30,000? Oh! All for a dream, baby. All for a dream. Dead today. Oh. Not Booby Feaster. He's alive. That's right, baby. Come on. First college football practice per USC football for Booby Feaster today. One of the brand new additions to the sport of college football. That's right. Real human being, real name, Booby Feaster, the USC Trojan. We've got a good big buddies with their defensive coordinator, Gary Patterson. I got to give him a call. He's the kind of guy who'd get a good chuckle out of Booby Feaster. Like he heard that and was like, that's a joke. There's no way. There's no way that's real. I've had a couple PBRs of that guy. He was. I bet he's a pretty big fan of Booby Feaster over there. Our final obituary for the day, and then we'll get right back into this Tarik Skubal, Major League Baseball, all this jazz. Dead today, Tony Romo's broadcast career. Per Pro Football Talk, CBS and Tony Romo could be headed for a $72 million legal battle. It would focus on the morals clause in his contract, Romo was arrested for an OWI, operating while intoxicated, in Wisconsin over a week ago. Pulled over, field sobriety test, taken in after playing golf, going to visit his grandparents' house. He said he's going to see Grandma and Grandpa. And now CBS has put Romo on indefinite leave. And J.J. Watt will fill the role of Romo in the broadcast booth alongside Jim Nantz. Whether or not Tony Romo will be back with CBS is in doubt. If I had to call my shot today, I think Romo has called his last for CBS on national television, whether you love him or hate him. Still wishing the best for Tony Romo, the Dallas Cowboys legend. Those are today's obituaries. Time for the Quickie, top 5 headlines in all of sports. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. Addie Bates reads the headlines. Drake Toll responds. I have a minute to respond to each of them, by the way.
I guess that makes me Addie Bates. Drake Toll, here's your first headline. Friedman and Roberts push back on the narrative that the Dodgers are ruining baseball.
Yeah, if you ask Jim Rome, the Dodgers are making baseball. You know, Jim Rome of Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. He would argue the Dodgers are good for baseball. And in some ways, plug your ears, they are. The Dodgers are building up a new era of baseball fans who love stars. You know what we lost when we said, hey, guys, please stop doing steroids? We kind of lost this star-studded – we lost the Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, this race. We lost the long ball. Now, did we really? No. But somewhere in the back of your brain, you're like, oh, no more steroids. Baseball's so much worse now. Our version of the steroids in 2026 is just the full Dodgers roster. It's just, what if instead of physical drugs – we created the essence of drugs by putting every great player in the league on one singular team. The Dodgers are the steroids. So Dave Roberts is just saying, hey, guys, we're not the ones who traded those players here. The Tigers are. We just took the best players and kept winning. Why wouldn't we? Makes a lot of sense if you're the LA Dodgers. And you know what? There are kids that are watching baseball because they love Shohei Ohtani. There are kids watching baseball because they love Freddie Freeman. Kids watching baseball because Edwin Diaz comes in and they just love the sick intro. And if kids are watching baseball, if people are watching baseball, and this is what it takes to, quote, fix baseball, because everybody, baseball needs to be fixed. If this is what it takes, then maybe that's okay.
Ooh. Here's your next headline. We're going to stay in baseball before we move on to a different sport. Cubs land playoff vet Kevin Gausman and trade with the Blue Jays.
What we learn at the trade deadline and what we learn in a trade like this, Kevin Gausman, is who wants to win and who doesn't. It really stinks that the Blue Jays are a year off of being a game away in the World Series. The Blue Jays are a year off of being an out away of winning the World Series and now have to blow the whole thing up. 52-60. They are dead last in the American League East. And the Blue Jays just didn't pan out this year. Now, injuries are a massive piece of that. But for Kevin Gausman, who's been a proven commodity in the postseason, to now be out of the fold in Toronto and over to the Cubs, here's what it does. This is two things, two points here. With Skubal and Gausman moving from the AL to the NL, the American League, which already sucked, just got way worse. You lost two really good arms out of the AL. And for the Cubs, it says, hey, we see a window of competition where it's 63-49. We want to go to the postseason. We want to make a run in the postseason. The Blue Jays are selling. The Cubs are buying. The Cubs plan to win this year. The Blue Jays are calling it a season. Their year is over. That's what you learn in a move like this. That's a minute.
Here's your next headline. Judge says injunction doesn't cover football players who signed pro deals.
Yeah, this is a problem. This is a huge problem. To give you more context, basically the NCAA and college football, we're all working in college sports toward a 5-5. You have 5 years to play 5 seasons. No more 4 years of eligibility. You have 5 years to play 5 seasons. If you get hurt, sorry, you have 5 years to play 5 seasons of sport. Now, if you start a college in 2023, you're a part of this. If you're starting in 2021, you have a COVID year. But the class of 2022 is like, hey, we didn't get the 5th year. Well, what do you mean we don't get the 5th year? Everybody else does. Just because we're the class of 2022 means we don't? Well, yeah. So now a judge has said, hey, you're right, class of 2022, you deserve a 5th year, you all can come back. But the class says, no, we all signed pro contracts 3 months ago to try our hand at the NFL or the NBA because you told us we couldn't come back to college. It's a complete dumpster fire that kids just want another year of college football, college basketball, the same way the class of 2021 or class of 2023 would get. But this one high school graduating class gets the short end of the stick, and now if you even tried your hand at pro sports, you're done. Dead today, the class of 2022. Laura? That's a minute.
Here's your next headline. Pass rusher Clowney reaches deal to reunite with the Houston Texans.
Yeah, Jadeveon Clowney's had a weird last 7 years bouncing around the NFL, and for him to go back to Houston feels like one of those kind of final moves that you do, like when J.J. Watt signed his one-day contract with the Texans to retire a Texan. They drafted him first overall in 2014. That was 12 years ago, and has not been in Houston since 2018. But I don't think this move, Clowney's 33 years old, but has not aged to 33 the way that a Myles Garrett has, or a way that a Myles Garrett will. I think he's still a couple years short of that, or a way that Aaron Donald did. For Clowney, this is, I think, less about winning and contributing immediately and more about leading. He even said that, quote, "I feel like I can help the younger guys. I've learned how to lead and what it takes to get to a Super Bowl. I feel like I can help this team." You add him to Will Anderson Jr., yeah, Houston's going to be A-okay. Well, I should be clear here. I'm sorry. Jadeveon Clowney is still good. Really, really good. He had 8 sacks last year. I mean, that's solid. Like, he was very, very good. I shouldn't dilute. Clowney is still a contributor. This is really strong for the Texans. We may be overlooking it a bit. We'll talk about it the rest of this week.
Here's your final headline. Kevin Durant compares 76ers star power to his Warriors teams.
No. What KD's trying to do here is just get the world off his back. He's trying to say, all you guys were mad at me for going to the Warriors, but when LeBron does it, no one's upset with LeBron. Everybody's upset with old Kevin Durant for going to the Warriors and building a super team, but when LeBron does it, everybody's like, oh, the greatest, oh, legacy, oh. No, KD. LeBron's going to a place that hasn't won an NBA title in 40 years. Joel Embiid is broken. VJ Edgecombe is 19 years old. And Jaylen Brown hates everyone. This isn't what the Warriors were. You were plug and play to go win 80 games in the regular season. Don't do this, KD. You're better than this. It's not the same. It's not the same. Is that it?
Those are your headlines.
Thank you. That was the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in all of sports. When we come back, why didn't other teams get Tarik Skubal? Why was it the Dodgers? We're so mad at the Dodgers. Why didn't other teams just go get Tarik Skubal? Why did it have to be the Dodgers that Detroit traded Skubal to? Sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com. Is baseball dead? I'll answer that on the Drake Toll Show. Is Major League Baseball dead? Well, yes, at least for a year. We will not play in 2027, and it is pretty clear that we will not play in 2027. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, and whatever damn techno music this is, to what's happening right now. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Addie Bates produces. Is that a real song?
Yes, that you don't know New Order? Blue Monday?
You're making up fake words right now.
Oh my goodness, 80s new wave band spawned from Joy Division after Ian Curtis. Dead or alive? Dead or alive?
None of these words make sense together in the English language. None of these are
all
things.
Right.
None of this
That's
is
okay.
real.
That's okay. Look up the song.
I'm convinced you're making all of that up. Clip it. Pod Squad.
This guy stinks!
Clip it. Let's ask the 310-840-4910. Do you have any idea what was happening right there? 310-840-4910. You can call or text the show. I got this. Here's my question. This is what I need. I need you to text the show. I need you to call the show. I need you to answer this. The issue why we think Major League Baseball is dead, why we think Major League Baseball is going to the wayside. I need the answer to this. If you are working at the local Walmart for $11 an hour, and your trajectory is that in 3 years at McDonald's or Walmart or the Ace Hardware, I can move from $11 an hour to $14 an hour. I can gain $1 a year. And then in the 7th month of you working at Walmart, they say, hey, sorry, we're going to put a salary cap on you. The most you can make is $11. Take it or leave it. Well, I'm going to leave it. I'm not signing the paperwork that says there's a salary cap on my salary, on my money, on my hourly wage, that I can't make more money at Walmart. You would never do that. Let's make it bigger. Let's say that you're at Goldman Sachs. Whoa, hey, junior financial advisor at Goldman Sachs, huh? You're really making it. You're making a way for yourself. You're making $80,000 out of college. I had buddies like this that worked 75 hours a week in a cubicle making $80,000. We're rich. What can you do with it? Nothing. So you're getting $80,000, but look, if you become a senior advisor in 10 years, you can make $800,000 at Goldman Sachs. But then 4 years into the 75-hour weeks in the cubicle, Mr. Goldman and Mr. Sachs, they come to you and they say, hey, we're going to put a salary cap on this. You can't make $800,000 anymore. We're going to cap you at, let's say $200,000. What? That's not $800,000. That's not what I was promised. I'm not going to sign on to that. I'm not going to cap my salary. So then why should Major League Baseball players do it? 310-840-4910. Let me give you more context. Major League Baseball is in a spot where the Dodgers, they've collected some of the best players in the world. Where the Dodgers have names like Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Kyle Tucker. Where the Dodgers are stacking up the best players in the world. Tarik, Skubal is another one. How do you get all those players? Well, damn it, you pay them. You give them money. And the Dodgers are willing to give them money. The other owners in the league are saying, oh, pause. We need a salary cap. So the Dodgers can't just keep paying whatever they want. We need a salary cap to bring everything back to the mean, to bring everything back to an average here. The Dodgers are going out of control. They're paying $430 million for their payroll in 2026. And what's the penalty? $180 million tax bill at the end of the season? Oh, you went over. Okay, great, sure. We'll pay that $180 via our TV deal money. We'll pay that $180 via the revenue we get from winning a World Series. See ya. So the owners say, we got to stop this. We got to put a stop to this with a salary cap. And the players say, no. I, as a Goldman Sachs employee, I, as a Walmart employee, will not have my salary capped. I will not allow you to tell me I can't make more money. I will not allow you to move the ceiling down. No. Just because you don't want to be the Dodgers. 310-840-4910. How can the players be expected to agree to a salary cap? 310-840-4910. This is good. This is unique, by the way. Instead of a text, I got a tweet from, I'm going to read this. It's a proper noun, so I'm going for it. From Tap and Dat Media Productions. And they say, at Drake C. Toll Show. Drake, you're smart. End tweet. Thank you. All right. Great tweet. Thank you. Next, coming up, NFL now. Drake, you're smart. Which is why your hypothetical question has confused many. War of the minds here, tapping dat, the scholar. However, the sports market is not the same as that of us wage slaves. We have a salary cap that is unspoken. We know we can't get paid, but so much already. Bless and love. That's the first attempt that I've heard that I'm like, you know what? Yeah. We don't get what professional athletes get. If I crash my car to the bridge after 14 beers, I go to jail. Professional athletes get a contract extension. They get to go right back behind the wheel. Hey, he doesn't have to wear an ankle monitor because training camp's coming up. So we don't want to hinder his training camp capabilities. He can't be sweating with that ankle monitor on. Come on, guys. You think I'm kidding? You think it's an exaggeration? Rashee Rice, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, crashes his car on the interstate, speeding down the interstate, causes a 6-car pileup, and then flees the scene. Hit and run is what that's good. In my neighborhood, it's called a hit and run. In the NFL, it's called contract extension. Terry and Arnold, allegedly, this one's alleged, kidnapped and robbed people. What did he get? Well, a judge said, guys, hey, pause. We can't put an ankle monitor on him because he can't go to training camp. What? How? If I kidnap and rob people, I go to prison. So you're right, tapping dat. It is a little different for the lay people of the world. Salary caps don't make as much sense in our lives. But man, to ask these guys to sit back and allow Major League Baseball to put a ceiling on what they can make, would you sign that? It's the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. Addie Bates produces. Addie, your work with MLB Network Radio, you've been covering this sport for a long time and covering this topic specifically for a long time. Is there any world where the players actually do accept a salary cap?
No, there is no world where they accept a salary cap, but here's the deal. And I'm going to use your question that you talk about everyday life. Let's talk about pensions. Let's compare this to a pension. What's going to happen is, let's say your boss has a pension. For our generation, that doesn't really exist anymore. They got rid of those. But your boss is grandfathered in. If they wanted to keep these contracts, what they do is you have to grandfather in the current players. And I think that's what they're trying to do. But the next generation of players, sorry guys, it's not fair. I get it, but life's not fair. These players are grandfathered in. And that's the way of the land. That's just how I would see it if you want to compare that to everyday life. We're already salary capped. You go on Indeed, you go on LinkedIn, and it says, hey, job salary range, 60,000 to 80,000. You know that 80,000 is your cap. You know that's the cap. That's what you're getting. So that's the everyday layman's term of a salary cap.
Can I push back a bit here? Because
absolutely.
Yeah, Major League Baseball players know what their initial salary is going to be, right? That you have that initial negotiation. The same way that, like a LinkedIn job post, you're right, would say between 40 and 60,000 based on experience. So somebody might get 60, somebody might get 40. Major League Baseball players, my sister's boyfriend just signed for $10.75 million. Like, some of them are doing really well on that initial payday or initial contract. I think the better question here would be, we don't, on that LinkedIn job post, they still tell you, hey, in 2 years, you could make $100,000. That's where Major League Baseball players are saying, hey, I don't want to be capped in 2 years, which does make sense to me.
I think that the solution to all these issues is you do get rid of the deferred contracts. You do. That's the solution.
It's context. What are the deferred contracts here?
So, friend of the show, Steve Phillips, we had him on last week. Everybody knows, you said it, Bobby Bonilla Day. He hasn't played baseball in...
Steve Phillips, former GM of the New York Mets.
Yes, of the New York Mets. He signed a contract where Bobby Bonilla basically gets paid $1 million a year for a very long time, for a couple of decades, but he hasn't played baseball in a long time, guys. And so that's what's happening with Shohei Ohtani. He has this huge contract, but he's only getting paid $1 million, $2 million while he's playing. And then once he retires, he has this lump sum that he's going to get paid at the very end and for years to come. That's insane. So that's what you have to focus on. It's not necessarily the salary cap. I think you have to rework. We talked about this, and we can get more in depth on it. TV deals, because what the Dodgers have in their TV rights is crazy. but you have to limit deferred contracts. That's how you can create fairness if you want to like be fair throughout the league and these teams that can't do these deferred deals, because the difference is they already have this money. The Dodgers do have this money. If the Marlins wanted to do a deferred contract like that, yeah, it's going to be a loan because they cannot afford it for many reasons that would take probably a week to go through.
Yeah. Let's take it out to the phone line, 310-840-4910. Can you pull the sword from Excalibur here? Ryan from Oregon, you are on the Drake Toll Show. Let's talk salary cap.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Ryan. Good morning.
Yeah, so unless I'm dumb, which is all,
You're not, Ryan. You're not dumb. Oregon's a great state. You're 1-for-1 living there.
No, it's a given. Everybody is. But anyway, I just wanted to say, first of all, again, unless I'm dumb, I kind of just disagreed with your whole argument to begin with, right off the bat.
Okay.
Reason being is because I don't think when you use like the Walmart example and all this and that, like, I don't really think that applies here, because when you have a salary cap, the only thing it's actually doing, in my opinion, would be limiting how many stars you could have. Like, because what the Dodgers are doing is essentially like capitalism. And so if you put a cap on, then you're just basically saying, well, rather than having like 20 amazing players, you can only have like 2 or 3 like everybody else. That was like the thing with Aaron Rodgers too. They always was like, is the fact that he earns too much hurt the team too much? Because you can only have, 1 or 2 or 3 guys like that.
Yeah. Ryan, I appreciate the call, and it's a very good point that he makes here. 310-840-4910. You can, just like Ryan, get involved with the show. And, I what I loved about that call is, number one, Ryan immediately was like, I disagree, which I love. Like, please disagree. That's what I want here. 310-840-4910. Where I'd push back on even that take, and I don't think Ryan's dumb here. I think it's a smart question. Let's imagine every Major League Baseball team has a salary cap of $100 million, which that's not even close. It's just simple math here. Let's imagine $100 million salary cap for 30 teams, okay? So we're taking $100 million times 30. There is a pool of $3 billion out there for Major League Baseball players. And in that pool of $3 billion, you have to fit the entirety of Major League Baseball. Does it make sense? We follow in here? Out of that $3 billion, what the players are going to argue is, hey, it used to be $0 billion. It could be as many billions of dollars as you wanted for us to all that box that we fit into. So while you're spot on here by saying that, Ryan, the salary cap would limit stars for sure. But for the stars of baseball, they're saying, hey, I don't want there to be a set limit, a set pool, hey, there are only $3 billion worth of contracts to go around in Major League Baseball. No, I want infinite money involved in Major League Baseball, infinite money involved in my opportunity to make that money in Major League Baseball with whatever team I go to, whatever team's willing to pay me. That's what these players are looking for. So, yeah, if we have a $500 million salary cap for each team in the MLB, look, man, that's cool. That's good. That's dandy. If we have $500 million that is set, awesome. Now you can only have 3 or 4 stars who are making $100 million a year, right? And you divvy it out to the rest of everybody else. But the thing is the players are saying, no, whoa. Once you cap this at all, we now have a more limited way to make money. So it's great for the fans. It's great for the owners who don't want to see super teams like the Dodgers. But for the players, when we say, hey, because the salary cap, there's only a set dollar amount for the entire MLB to fit into that box, the players don't like that, and they're not going to like that. Very good point from Ryan, though. You as well can fight the question. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Why would you ever in everyday life accept a salary cap, a limit on what money you can make at your job? We'll keep that question going. Here's why you shouldn't be mad at the LA Dodgers, by the way. Here's why you just should. The Dodgers aren't the ones killing baseball right now. That's a crazy statement I'm making, but I believe in it. 310-840-4910. That when we come back on the Drake Toll Show.
The 40.
for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king regales his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real man is like a country, you need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation, glad they conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down, the champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch, he lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to draw. Notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible to recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo Kendall. I guess time does make fools of us all.
The Dodgers aren't killing baseball. Everyone else is feeding the Dodgers. What? Well, yeah, I mean, Shohei Ohtani, free agent. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, free agent. Freddie Freeman, free agent. Anybody else could have offered contracts to these guys that match the Dodgers. Anybody, you're allowed to. There's no salary cap. What about trades? How did you acquire Mookie Betts? Via trade. How did you acquire Tyler Glasnow? Via trade. How did you just acquire Tarik Skubal? Via trade. Other Major League Baseball teams have a fair shot at these free agents. Other Major League Baseball teams have guys like Skubal or Mookie Betts on their roster, and then they trade them to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are just doing what's within the limits, what's within the bounds of baseball. Is it frustrating? Hell yeah. Do I like it? I'm not a Dodgers fan. But they can do it. They're acting within their rights. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, locked on Big 12 and right here, 310-840-4910. Let's take you out to the phone lines, and let's talk Dodgers with Coastal Cali. Coastal Cali, you're on the Drake Toll Show.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
First off, I want to say thank you. This is a fantastic discussion, obviously very pertinent with the strike looming and so forth. I also want to acknowledge that Addie Bates was trying to teach you a little musical history, and you cut her off. But Blue Monday is in honor of the Dodgers, apparently. And I thought that was hilarious because that is a classic song. If she just played a different part, maybe you would have probably recognized it. It's played everywhere.
A new knowledge for me. It's a new knowledge. I'm learning today, Coast. I'm learning.
Yeah, Addie, make sure he listens to the whole thing later. All right. So with respect to a salary cap, you got to have something at the top. Teams are getting stacked. The Dodgers are a clear example in my mind. You made a great argument about trades and how they've negotiated. They probably have a fantastic farm system, fantastic front office. They've got the money to hire the best people, et cetera. So it skews things. Poor teams can't keep up. My local team, the San Francisco Giants, is a great example. They're struggling on contracts for some players that have decent numbers, but they just haven't had any luck. I think they're the worst at comeback games. They were the worst at steals for a long time. They were the worst at a lot of different things. The metrics just didn't work out. They've lost heartbreaking games. But then you have the Dodgers, who seem to get every break their way, and it just imbalances things beyond belief. If you have a top cap, like you were suggesting, and you laid out the example of $300 billion for the whole league and $100 million per team. If you raise that to like $300 million per team or something, there's a balance somewhere in there. And I think that's what they're going through right now, is trying to figure out where the threshold is. But the baseball teams have enjoyed tax benefits for their stadiums and their operations. They do a lot of community stuff, which is fantastic. But on the other side, they don't have to pay taxes in some ways for local cities that other businesses have to. Anyway, I appreciate what you guys are doing, and I think this is a great debate.
Love it. Coastal Cali, thanks for the call, 310-840-4910. You can get involved on the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, and the Westwood One Sports app. Back to the point, and if you're just joining us, we're talking Tarik Skubal being traded from the Detroit Tigers to the LA Dodgers, and now the Dodgers have a $430 million roster this year compared to the Marlins that might have a $60, $70 million roster. And the salary cap makes sense to me in my brain. NFL does it. NHL, NBA, like everybody has some version of a pretty strict salary cap here, except for Major League Baseball. Theirs is not strict enough. And so teams can pay whatever they want. And it creates this endless loop of players just making money and making money and making money. And so we've had a couple calls here that are trying to answer this question. Why should the players agree to capping their own salaries? And one of the prevalent things that has been used, and great call from Coastal Cali there, is talking about how, hey, if each team has a $300 million salary cap, then players are still making a lot of money. And maybe they would agree to that. Maybe they'd agree, like, yeah, $300 million per team is enough. So let's do the math on this. What the players will do, they'll sit down and they'll say, all right, $300 million per team, all right, times 30 Major League Baseball teams. That is $9 billion. So there is a pot, there is a pool of $9 billion that can be doled out to Major League Baseball players. Okay? $300 million. Each team has a salary cap. $300 million. Establish that. 30 teams. Establish that. $9 billion available. Establish that. Well, if I'm Mike Trout, if I'm Yamamoto, Ohtani, if I am Mookie, I sit down and say, whoa, why would I allow a $9 billion pool when there's an infinity pool right now? There's an infinite amount of money in the world that I can make in baseball. So why would I allow you to shrink my opportunity to make money? I'm not signing that. Why would you? That's the problem. That's the issue, is you're going to ask the players to be selfless. Now, there's a theory that the owners are all allowing their best players to go to the Dodgers. Hey, if we can have the Dodgers have the best 15 players in baseball, then maybe the athletes will see that the salary cap not existing is bad. Maybe the athletes will see we have to cap the Dodgers at some point. They can't sign so many stars. But the players keep going back to this. Nope. Don't give me a finite pool of money. Give me an infinite pool of money. After years, you told me I could make however much money I wanted to. That baseball would have its own market. And that market would go up and up and up and up. And now the market's gone too far. I, Drake Toll, host of the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, I agree. The market's gone way too high. But for the players to say, hey, the market's gone pretty high. But why would I cap it? Why would I want it to go lower? I'm the player. I'm getting paid. 310-840-4910. You can call or text the show. You can listen to the entirety of the Drake Toll Show on the Westwood One Sports app, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, and SiriusXM 375. When you call the show, 310-840-4910, you're live on SiriusXM 375 in cars across the country. Addy Bates, MLB Network, on the Drake Toll Show, produces the Drake Toll Show. Addy, on points like that, the salary cap, is there a number? Is there a perfect number where the players say, okay, that salary cap, we'll do it, just rock with it?
No. I don't think that's the thing is we're looking for something tangible. We're looking for a clear-cut number, and that's just not something we're going to get out of these negotiations, at least at the beginning. The players just don't want that. And now to your point on owners colluding. Ooh, I love that. I want to put on my tinfoil hat. I love that point. And saying that, hey, let's just ship them off to the Dodgers. There's some validity to that. The reports were suggesting that the Tigers didn't even listen to other teams' offers. And people go, oh, why aren't other teams doing it? They could have offered up prospects. That's not exactly true. The Dodgers have the best farm system in baseball. We've established that. You've said that many times on this show. That is true. That is a fact. Other teams could offer up prospects, but for a rental, that would hurt their farm system long term. Whereas for the Dodgers farm system that's so deep, because they don't really have to ship off all of their best prospects, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't do much for them, and that's why they're able to do it. That's why they have the best farm system. They have the money. They have the TV deal that allows them to save money and spend it more on their players. They are doing all the right things with the system the way it is currently set up. But a strict number put in place, people don't like seeing that. People do not like seeing a actual number put in their face of, hey, you may be the best of the best, but this is how much you could make.
I wouldn't want to vote for that. I wouldn't want the slip of paper to come in front of me and an X and an underline. You sign away your opportunity to make infinite money. You sign away that opportunity. There's not a number that appeases that. I'm not, okay, $300 million per team, $400 million per team. Why? With the knowledge, especially if you're a Dodgers player, with the knowledge the Dodgers might have a $500 million roster next year, why would I agree to possibly making less money? And now, a lot of these guys, it won't matter. If there's a $300 million salary cap, it won't matter for the Marlins. That's why players want a salary floor. They want every roster to pay at least $120 million. The Marlins are paying around half that. Now, the other side of it, though, the parity of baseball, it continues to be the argument is, well, the Marlins are winning. How do the Dodgers have a $400 million roster, $400 million more than the Marlins, and yet the Marlins are only a couple games back of a wild card spot? Yet the Marlins are only 10 games back of the Dodgers. How does that make sense? Well, it only makes sense in the confines of baseball. Baseball is just that game. You put together a super team in the NFL, they'll dominate anybody and everybody any given Sunday. Well, in Major League Baseball, any night, the Marlins can beat the Dodgers because of the sport itself. When we come back, why do the Dodgers, let's go deeper into that. Are the Dodgers at fault here? Are they the problem? How do they keep getting the good players? Why don't the Mets get the good players? It's Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. It's the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Major League Baseball is dead. But the Dodgers didn't kill it. It is August 3rd, 2026. On August 3rd, 2027, we will not be playing baseball. There will be a lockout. The players and the owners will not be able to agree on a collective bargaining agreement. The owners are happy that the Dodgers continue to grow and get better and better because it just means that maybe finally the players will all look at the Dodgers and say, no, there needs to be a salary cap. You're right, for the greater good of baseball. But I asked this question. Here's what I need answered. Here's what I want to know. 310-840-4910. Why would the players want a salary cap? Why would the players accept their possible salary, the money they could make? Why would they accept that going down, being limited? That doesn't make sense to me. This is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. We've gotten calls and texts all day long. We're still on the phone lines with you. Ben from San Diego, you're on the Drake Toll Show.
What's up, Drake? Hey, I just want to touch on, you saying earlier that everybody can do this with the Dodgers. They have a fair chance to trade and do all this. I disagree on that. The Dodgers are backed by Guggenheim. They get tax breaks on their TV revenue deals. They're grandfathered in that no other team does. So basically they still pay like they're a small market team when they're getting all this other money from their TV deals. And look what the Padres did. They had an owner who was passing away who wanted to see a championship. He spent like a quote-unquote big market team, but was shut down by MLB and other owners. He was the black sheep when he started giving out big contracts and showing that ownership can pay these players even on a small market level. And it showed that the owners had money. They're pocketing money, that it made other owners and teams look bad in that process. So when another team is trying to play like the Dodgers, it was shunned and shut down by MLB and the owners. But that does just back why would the players do this when the owners are making all this money?
Yeah,
that's all I have to say.
Spectacular point, Ben. Great call. Thank you very much for joining the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. So let me do this. And if you're just joining us, I'd like to back it up a second and tell you the point that I've made over the course of the last hour is for the Dodgers in this case. And it's the call that Ben's given the call based on this, based on what I said earlier. The Dodgers, anybody can do this. It's open. It's a free market in Major League Baseball. The Mets could do it. The Braves could do it. The Marlins could do it. And Ben pushes back and says, well, when other teams have tried, they've received pushback. For sure. Because at some point in Major League Baseball, what we decided, the owners and Rob Manfred and the sport itself, is that, hey, let's not allow super teams here. When a free agent comes available, let's go into this free market world of Major League Baseball and each give competitive offers, and the guy will go wherever he wants to go. But what the Dodgers did, what was different for LA, is they started to build organizationally from genuinely like the ground level. And then trade. They have the number one farm system in America. And not to say that the Padres or the Braves or the Mets, as teams have tried to become or tried to replicate what the Dodgers are doing, because like I said, anybody could do this. That's a broad statement. Ben is spot on. It's a broad statement to say anybody could do this. Not everybody's going to be able to fit the mold of the Dodgers. But they started this from the farm system up and said, okay, now what can we dole out to start to grab guys? And as the Dodgers slowly started to bring in, whether it's a Shohei Ohtani via free agency, Yoshinobu Yamamoto via free agency, Freddie Freeman via free agency, Kyle Tucker via free agency, betting on these guys, giving money for these guys, effectively winning at auction, paying as much as they could versus you versus them versus how much money do we go up. All right, free agent, sign with us. In that style, the Dodgers began to win. Now, you can't keep guys away in free. You can't. The MLB can't step in and be like, hey, nope, that San Diego Padres, you can't sign those guys in free agency. And Ben's not making that point here. You have to look past the free agency side and see the trade side and see the compliment side for LA. How do you trade to get Mookie Betts? How do you trade to get Tyler Glasnow? How do you trade to get Tarik Skubal? How do you keep trading? Well, number one, you have a really good farm system, the best farm system in Major League Baseball. It gives you an opportunity to send prospects elsewhere, and teams are feeling like they're getting something good for the Dodgers, a future from the Dodgers, based on who they grab and those prospects. But another side of this is where the San Diego Padres could try to do it. The Miami Marlins could try to do it. The Detroit Tigers could try to replicate what the Dodgers are doing. The owners around the league are not going to assimilate to that. Whoa, where's he going? It's the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Addie Bates made a great point about this in the last hour, is that the Major League Baseball owners look at the Dodgers and what do they see? Threat. They see a threat to the sport. The Padres will never be a threat to the sport. The Mets won't. The Marlins won't. The Rangers won't. Not even the Astros will be a threat to the sport of baseball. But the owners see, there's a tangible bad guy. And if we strengthen the bad guy more and more and more, if we keep pouring our trades into the bad guy, if we let them get bigger and better, then we, the owners, have a better leg to stand on when we meet for a collective bargaining agreement. We, the owners, can sit down with the players and say, look at the Dodgers. Look how bad they are. Do you want that to keep happening? Well, if you don't, if you want to stop the Dodgers, you have to agree to a salary cap. You got to sign a salary cap. The owners wanted to strengthen the Dodgers to build a bad guy, a guy so bad that the owners are able to win the conversations when they sit down at the table with the players for the collective bargaining agreement. And here's why we won't play baseball this time next year. It's because when we go to the table, when the owners and the players come to the table and they say, hey, we're the owners and we want a salary cap. It's gone too far. We can't keep paying and keep up with the Mets. We can't keep paying and keep up with the Dodgers. We need a salary cap. And when the players push back and say, no, don't limit my salary. Don't cap what I can make. They're going to sit at that table. They're going to go back and forth and back and forth. And they'll do that for a year. Because the owners are standing their ground. The players are standing their ground. And until we sign a collective bargaining agreement, we can't play Major League Baseball. So this time next year, it's why we're looking at a monumental generational lockout, where the players say, we're not playing. And the owners say, fine, we're not going to stop until there is a salary cap. It is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. The phone lines are open. The text line is open as well. Shannon from Alabama says, people seem to forget that even though the Dodgers have a high payroll, they have a great farm system. To be able to pull off the Skubal trade, you need a great farm system. Plus, says Shannon, if Detroit really wanted to keep him, they would have paid him already because they had ample time to do it, and they never did. This is another point that benefits the Dodgers. If you ask the question, why do teams keep trading to the Dodgers? Why are the Dodgers so good at this? Well, a piece of it is the owners wanting to bolster the Dodgers, make them look better and bigger so they can have a negotiation tactic at the table and say, look how good the Dodgers are. Got to stop them. Got to stop that. But it's something else here. There's something else here. The Dodgers have elite, cost-controlled young talent because they have the number one organization, because their farm system's so strong. They have cost-effective, elite young talent that they can send somewhere else. The Detroit Tigers say, hey, we might not win right now with the 3 prospects you sent us. We could in a few years. And they're cheap. Also, many general managers are handcuffed in this by internal budget restrictions that are set by owners. You've got to shy away from mega contract extensions. You've got to shy away in Detroit from giving too much money to Tarik Skubal. Why? The owner doesn't want us to. But the Dodgers operate with financial freedom. They can trade for a superstar, absorb their salary, and position themselves to sign the guy long-term all over again. They're not afraid of spending money the way that most owners in Major League Baseball are. And also, a lot of elite players have no trade clauses, at least partial no trade clauses. Or maybe their future contract demands heavily influence where a selling team is willing to trade them. That player comes to the table and says, trade me. But it has to be to the Dodgers. What? Trade me, but I want to go to the Dodgers. Why do you want to go to the Dodgers? Because they'll pay me whatever I'm worth. Because they'll pay me a ton of money and then some. That's why I want to play for the Dodgers. Now, to Ben's point, who just called us from San Diego, 310-840-4910. To Ben's point, the Dodgers do win with their TV deal. Let me give you some context. The McCourt collapse. 2011. The owner at the time, Frank McCourt, ran the Dodgers into the ground financially. This culminated in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That was filed after the team struggled to meet routine payroll obligations. They had millions owed in these deferred player compensation contracts. The Dodgers filed for bankruptcy in 2011. Major League Baseball, court supervised 15 years ago, said, okay, you've got to sell them to the Guggenheim Partners, to Magic Johnson. They bought the franchise for a record $2 billion. And you know what happened right after that? The ownership group that stepped in 15 years ago. Here's what you need to know about the Dodgers. Here's how they have so much money. 25-year, $8.35 billion local television agreement with Time Warner Cable. Okay, that's fine though, right? Because there's revenue sharing to this. $8.35 billion for 25 years of Dodgers TV programming on Sportsnet LA. That's a ton of money for over 2 decades. But in Major League Baseball, local broadcast rights are subject to revenue sharing. It helps small market and mid-market teams because we know that you're going to get a much bigger and better TV deal in LA than you are in Milwaukee or Detroit. Typically, a heavy percentage of your local revenue, your team revenue, goes into a pool. It just goes into a big pool. It's redistributed around the league. But not the Dodgers. Now, I've already given you the point. I don't think the Dodgers are ruining Major League Baseball. I don't think the Dodgers are the reason baseball is dead. I think there are a lot of people to blame, a lot of owners to blame. There are players to blame. There are conversations in history to blame. But the MLB, you helped do this. The Dodgers filed for bankruptcy, and they needed to. They couldn't pay the players they had guaranteed money toward. And the MLB, in the midst of that, agreed to calculate the team's local revenue, their TV revenue, based on the bankrupt Dodgers. So instead of giving the $8.35 billion to the pool, the MLB said, let's cut them some slack. They filed for bankruptcy. They need the money. Oh, no. So this legacy exception where the Dodgers get to keep this money through 2039, it allows the Dodgers to shield tens of millions of dollars from every single team, every single year, away from the revenue sharing pool. The estimates suggest the Dodgers keep $66 million or more annually because of the MLB giving them a break. 15 years ago, when the Dodgers had not won a World Series for decades, this wasn't a problem. It wasn't a thing we were worried about. We weren't concerned with this. Today, it helps the Dodgers. It gives the Dodgers more flexibility. 310-840-4910. We're talking Tarik Skubal to the Dodgers and how it just flipped baseball on its head. How about this? A text that comes in saying, a salary cap hurts earning power of the players. Lets the owners make unlimited money. Which owners and teams are losing money in the current markets? The poor teams get a revenue share from the higher salary teams. So, on the salary cap, I mean, here's why we're stuck. Here's the question I have today that nobody can answer. I need somebody to take the sword. I can't remember. Is the stone named Excalibur? I think the sword's named. I need someone to take the sword out of the stone here. We've gotten plenty of calls today. A dozen calls and dozens of texts. I need somebody to answer this. If you work at Goldman Sachs and you make $100,000 as a 25-year-old, because Goldman Sachs loves to pay people, and your expectation is the age of 30, you can make $500,000. Heck, man, it's Goldman Sachs. You look at the contract progression. When I'm 30 years old, I'm going to make $500,000 at Goldman Sachs. That's what the guy above me who's 30 makes. That's what they told me I would make. But you know what happens? Goldman Sachs walks to you. They say, Dan, hey, we're going to put a salary cap on you. What do you mean? Yeah, I know you thought you could make $500,000 at the age of 30, but we're actually going to cap that to $200,000. Sorry. Sign right here. What do you mean sign right here? No. Sign right there, please. Just go ahead and sign it. I'm not going to sign away my opportunity to make money. I'm not going to sign away my revenue. You told me I can make whatever I want, that my value at this company is something that I can determine. That's what Major League Baseball players were told. So why would they sit down and sign the dotted line that says you can only make X amount of dollars and nothing more? That's what a salary cap is. A salary cap is a handcuff on players who have not been handcuffed. The NFL can do it. Why? Because they've been doing it. The NBA can do it. Why? Because it's been a thing. Major League Baseball, these players have had open market, fair trade, capitalism. How do you go from that to saying, hey, by the way, every team's payroll is limited to $300 million? Sorry. Because at that point, players see that as a limited opportunity to make money. And why would you ever sign something that says you have a limited opportunity to make money? Can someone answer me that? Why would the players sign paperwork that says your salary is capped? Your salary is limited. Why would you ever do that as someone in the workforce? 310-840-4910. Someone tell me how the players are supposed to agree to that with the owners. Major League Baseball screwed this up from the beginning, and there's no going back. When we return, let's go back to Tarik Skubal. Did we lose Skubal in all of this? The Dodgers just became maybe the greatest Major League Baseball team, the greatest Major League Baseball roster of the 2000s, of this century. I'll read you the list of names that play for the Dodgers right now, and I'll equate it to what that would look like if the NFL did the same thing. What if this was a super team in the NFL? What would those names look like? How does this compare? What would it be like in the NFL? Why are fans mad? Why are the players mad that the Dodgers have created this conglomerate? Well, because they're generational. And it's not the Dodgers' fault. I'll explain why it's not their fault. The Drake Toll Show, 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. You can listen live to the entirety of the show, Sirius XM 375, the Drake Toll Show YouTube channel, and the Westwood One Sports app. When we come back, the Dodgers are not at fault. They are a super team, and somehow that's helping baseball. This is the Drake Toll Show. Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, Mookie Betts, Kyle Tucker, Freddie Freeman, Tarik Skubal. Do you want me to keep going? I can include Dalton. I don't really want to include Dalton Rushing or Kike Hernandez or Max Muncy. What do you want? They're the best team that they have created a super team. This is as though you go to the National Football League and Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. Saquon Barkley is your running back. We're asking questions now. Like, all right, hold on. Whoa. This team's getting pretty good. And Mahomes is throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Oh, and CeeDee Lamb's your third option. Penei Sewell is somewhere in there on the offensive line. Right? And the ball flips defensively. Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Chris Jones, Fred Warner, Patrick Surtain, Sauce Gardner. All those guys are out there on defense. You know what? And prime Justin Tucker is your kicker. Right? That's what the Dodgers have become. We would never allow it to get there in the NFL, but in Major League Baseball, there's no salary cap. The Dodgers can move effectively however they'd like to. And they've taken full advantage of that. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, 310-840-4910. Your calls, your texts all day long. Here is Jones from Atlanta. Jones, good morning. You're on the Drake Toll Show.
Hey, man, I love it, though. I love what the Dodgers are doing. I'm glad that it's not like that in the NFL because the Rams will probably follow suit, you know what I'm saying, or maybe the New York Giants because they have those they would be able to get those kind of TV deals. But I laugh at the other teams. Like I'm from Atlanta, and I love my Braves. But I hate my Braves because they cheat. They don't want to spend the money. We needed a pitcher. We're one of those franchises that needed Skubal. But you know what the Dodgers do? They sat there and laid in the cut, and they say, you know what? The Braves are cheap. They don't want to spend the money. You know, the Yankees been doing it for a long time, too. So you know what they do? They say, hey, Skubal, how much you want? You want to get up out of there? Like you said, how much you want? Man, pay me this. All right, say less. Come on. Let me know a winning team that is losing money. This is what I don't understand. When you win, you make money, right? So if we're the Braves and we make a deep playoff run or we go back to the World Series, doesn't that sell more jerseys? Doesn't that sell more popcorn? Doesn't that sell more hot dogs? So doesn't that do what? That brings in more money. Why not spend the money? We're acting like old curmudgeons that just don't, hey, I got a whole bunch of money, but you know what? I might go broke if I spend it on a player that's going to help me win a championship. I just don't get it. You know what I mean? Like, what's the point of you're making the money, but then you want to be tight with it? You know what I mean? Like your winning franchise is going to lose money because you spending it to help yourself win. And who knows? Baseball may not even be baseball next year. They might be a strike. So I'm with the Dodgers. Hey, we're going to go for it because we may not even have baseball next year. So you know what? Bump it. We're going to go for the gold. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. If I'm an owner, I'm a GM, you're right. Hey, they don't want to spend the money. They don't want to win. Let's do it. Come on. Think about it. They weren't in the cut the whole time.
That's a perfect phone call, Johnson. Thank you for the call out of Atlanta. Big Braves fan. And let me give you some perspective on this, too. I've been to Truist Park. This was 2 months ago. And you walk on the concourse at Truist, the home of the Atlanta Braves, and I turn right into what's called like the Braves memorabilia store. And when I walk in there, they're selling the bases from the night before. Like, wait a second, what? That's right. You know, they switch bases in Major League Baseball every 3 innings. The guys walk out. They mow the grass, rake the field, get all the dirt settled, and they pull the bases up. They bring them to the Braves memorabilia store, and they sell them to make money. Everybody wants to make money somehow. Got to be a way to do it. And what the Dodgers have done is they've bet on themselves to the point of saying, hey, we want to make money, and we know winning makes money. So if we defer these contracts, I think is probably the true problem here, is less the salary cap, more the deferred contracts. If we defer a contract for Shohei and give him $1 million a year, but then $50 million a year when he's 50, at that point, man, we can win for the next 15 years. We can win 10 World Series. We'll have so much money, none of those deferred contracts will matter. Oh, and by the way, if those deferred contracts are things that we can't pay, we'll just file for bankruptcy. That's what they did in 2011. That worked. How can you be mad at the Dodgers for just playing the game? Let's keep it on the phone lines. 310-840-4910, the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Brett from California. Good morning, Brett. You're on the Drake Toll Show.
Drake, good morning. Two things. One, I'm not really sure why I'm up this early, but, when I heard your voice and I heard you say, somebody call me and tell me why anyone would sign this salary cap and cap their earnings, I think there's a couple reasons. And the reality is this. As you know, there's only so many guys that get to go to the show. Okay? There's only so many people. And the fact, and 90% of those guys aren't going to be all-stars. They're not. They're not going to be Shohei Ohtani. They're not going to be Mookie Betts. They're not going to be Skubal. As a matter of fact, they're not going to be the Dodgers. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And so you get a chance to play in the big leagues and make $5 million, $10 million, $15 million. That is winning. And the guys that are thinking they're salary cap, they're not salary cap because they're going to have endorsements. They're going to have this. They're going to have that. They're going to make more money than they can count. And the people that are lucky enough to play in any major league sport, I'm signing up. I'm signing up right now. Give me the pen. Because I am going to create my own reality. Because if I become the all-star, if I come to Shohei Ohtani, you're going to figure out a way, like the Dodgers have done, to pay me. You're going to figure out a way. So I ain't worried about that. And that's why I'm signing it, and that's why it works. But the Dodgers, and you can't be mad at them, and I say this in my company, what I work for, you know how you save money? You spend money.
That's good, Brett. I appreciate your phone call. Appreciate
you being
Yeah, and that's one of the best takes we've gotten all morning on this is how the salary cap, you could almost bet on yourself, right? A player saying, okay, all right, cap the salary $300 million per team. You're going to find a way to pay me. I'm going to get mine. You're going to give me $50 million. You're going to give me a sixth of that because I'm worth it because I'm that good. Otherwise, I'll go get it somewhere else. Problem is, and I do think Brett was onto something here with salary cap wise, you need a floor somewhere in there to ensure that the pool of money stays lifted up. You can't keep having it where, hey, if the salary is capped at $300 million, we have to ensure the floor is at $175 million. We can't allow the Marlins to pay $60 million. So that if I'm drafted to the Marlins and they bring me up out of the organization, man, I'm just not getting the money I deserve. But there's some pushback to this too. Well, what Brett's saying, if you're the players, right? You bet on yourself and you say, hey, even if there's a salary cap, you'll find a way to pay me. I'm going to use an example here. Remember Chris Davis for the Orioles? When Chris Davis signed his 7-year contract in 2016, it was historic. $161 million deal with the Baltimore Orioles. They wanted to pay. There was deferred money. It would pay him after 2022, and it was set to expire. He'd get money annually all the way to 2037. But here's the pushback that I'd give Brett. Again, spectacular phone call, 310-840-4910. Is Chris Davis signed that contract because he's one of the best players in baseball. He was a star for the Orioles. But then what happened? He went on a historic, egregious, gross 2019 campaign that buried his baseball career. Chris Davis went on one of the worst runs you could go on as a Major League Baseball player in 2019 when he began, in 2018, a hitless streak on September 14th that lasted through 21 at-bats to finish off the year. So he goes 21 straight ABs without a hit to end 2018. That's all right. Okay, it's all right. He'll figure it out next year. 2019, he set a Major League record for the most consecutive at-bats by a position player without a hit. 46. 46. Oh, for 46 is crazy. On April 13th, after 54 consecutive at-bats without a hit, he had a 2-run single against the Red Sox. His career was over. You know, if Davis, in the middle of that 2016 campaign when he signed that lucrative deal, if Davis had gone on an 0 for 54 streak that year, does he get that contract? No. I point to a guy like that and say, if Davis had bet on himself and then gone on a 2019-esque run, if you bet on yourself and go on, and you do what Cal Raleigh is doing right now, I'm not paying Cal Raleigh right now, the catcher for the Mariners, who was second in voting for the AL MVP last year. A guy who has less than 10 home runs this season? No! I'm not doling out money to that guy. I'm not paying that guy. You can bet on yourself, and I know players would want to, and I think that's what Brett's getting at here with his phone call. But, is it worth the risk to take the limited pay? Got a text in from North Carolina, Mooresville, North Carolina, from Daryl. When they go on strike next year, are the players still getting paid? See, that's the weird one. Your base salary is paused completely. No game-by-game or monthly paychecks will be distributed while games not being played. Now, previous earnings standpoint, some of these deferred contracts, players still receive money already earned, already vested before a strike if they go on strike, like signing bonuses, deferred compensation. And the Major League Baseball Players Association could provide financial aid, namely to guys like Nolan Shonowell, first baseman for the Angels, who's not on a $500 million deal. That guy can get help if he needs it. Daryl also says, you know there's going to be a cap. How would you do it? I wouldn't cap the players. I can't, as somebody who lives in a capitalistic society, as somebody who works in radio, who works in TV, who works in podcasts, I wouldn't allow my boss to tell me my salary cap. There was a salary cap. I wouldn't allow my boss to say, hey, we want to keep you here for the next 3 to 5 years, but you got to stay at your current salary. I wouldn't do that. So how am I going to invent a way for the players to do it? When we return, Bob Nightingale, the legendary Major League Baseball columnist, joins the Drake Toll Show to help break this whole thing down. Maybe he can answer the question. Bob Nightingale, when we return. It's Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. We'll ask him if baseball is dead. This is the Drake Toll Show. Tarik Skubal has been traded from the Detroit Tigers to the Los Angeles Dodgers. It is the Drake Toll Show. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Drake Toll with you. The legendary Major League Baseball columnist Bob Nightingale joins the program from USA Today. Bob, appreciate your time up early this morning with us. And now the public rhetoric around Skubal being traded from the Tigers to the LA Dodgers is that this is the final straw, the final domino to a lockout in 2027. Is there genuinely that much effect in this move to withhold baseball next season?
Well, we're going to have a lockout anyway, Drake, but they'll be the poster boys of it. Yeah, I mean, I think there'll still be baseball next year, but it'll be a lockout, it'll be a lengthy lockout. The owners are adamant that they want a salary cap, and they'll point to the Dodgers all winter long. Players will want to resist, obviously, and say, we love the fact we can make as much money as possible. We don't like your system. So they'll see, we'll see a few missed paychecks, come next April. We'll see who blinks.
Bob Nightingale joining the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, and Sirius XM 375. Bob, I asked this question to our listeners today. We've gotten a lot of great feedback and pushback on it. If I work at Goldman Sachs, making $100,000 a year, and you tell me in 5 years I'm going to make $500,000, then in the middle of that content, in the middle of all this, you say, hey, just kidding. We're going to cap you at $200,000. There's no way I'm signing that dotted line. Can we expect Major League Baseball players to sign away their opportunity to make infinite money?
At least not for a while. I mean, they've resisted, all these years. So we'll see if anything changes. They're going to fight tooth and nail, and I think what MLB will do is try to appease to the younger players, the inexperienced guys. Say, you know what, we're going to raise your minimum salary up to about $1.25 million. We're going to get a lot more guys to have arbitration rights. We're going to lower free agency, from 6 years to 5 if you turn 30 years old. So they're going to try to appease the rank and file here.
People have brought up as well the fact the Miami Marlins are competing and how baseball is one of those sports where you can have a $350 million gap in two teams' salaries, and yet one team can sweep the other. In a season like this, that's been, again, shown by the White Sox or the Marlins. Is the parity of baseball the one thing that can save the sport in these CBA negotiations?
Well, that's what they'll argue back and forth on. To your point, you see Miami in there. I mean, obviously, the Milwaukee Brewers, they're in the baseball's smallest market. Won the most regular season games last year, had the best record again this year. And then the MLB will argue, well, they're not winning World Series either. Brewers haven't won one since 1982. Tampa Bay has, been to the World Series twice and never won one. So that's what they'll say. Well, the last small market team to win a World Series was the Kansas City Royals. So they'll argue that infinity and see who's point to driving the most. I think MLB would love to see the Dodgers have a three-peat and say, see, it's not working.
It's Bob Nightingale joining the Drake Toll Show. And Bob, there are so many storylines around this, obviously, but I'd like to take it to the field itself and the Los Angeles Dodgers. In adding the AL's best pitcher, Tarik Skubal, the Dodgers certainly get better. That can go unsaid. But where does this team become in the conversation of one of the great rosters in baseball history?
Yeah, I mean, they're so deep is the thing. I mean, look at it. They spent $240 million on Kyle Tucker last winter, and he's just been, very, very mediocre. Spent $69 million on Edwin Diaz, was best closer. He hasn't pitched since April. Blake Snell, $180 million, pitched 3 innings. But they're so deep, they're running away with the NL West, even after getting swept by the Boston Red Sox. So I think of all the other World Series teams or all the playoff teams in this run now of 13 years, that this is their best team.
This might be an impossible question. It's a big one, too. But and I'll give you a stat to back up where we've gone with this today. From 2019 to 2024, youth baseball was down 20%. Now you're seeing both a growth in youth baseball and a growth in viewership for the sport of baseball. Does that equate to a roster like this, the LA Dodgers, what they've done, helping the sport grow? I guess in essence, are the Dodgers good for baseball?
I think they are good. I think it's good to have a villain or a superpower. I mean, everybody used to love it back in the day with the Yankees, when they were the powerful team, no matter what decade you want to choose. But, even there from the 96 to 01, people say, oh, the Yankees always win. Now they're pointing to the salary cap, to the salaries and everything else, the Dodgers being so big. But that's what the system allows. They're paying into it too. They're going to have a $180 million luxury tax, which would be bigger than about 2/3 of the franchises in baseball. But they do it the right way. If you look at this last trade, two of those kids they got in trades, they were 11th round draft picks. Their only homegrown guy was a 3rd round pick, and this is a team that drafts last or next to last about every single year.
Yeah. He is the president of the Baseball Writers Association of America, Bob Nightingale from USA Today, joining the Drake Toll Show. Last couple things I got for you here, Bob. Again, tangibly on the field, the Boston Red Sox, buy or sell, namely after this sweep of the Dodgers, buy or sell the Red Sox winning the AL East?
I'll buy. I might even buy they're going to win the American League pennant. They're on fire, Drake. when they lost like 3 games now, were they like 26-3 or something ridiculous? Right now, they're the best team in the American League by far.
What does their day look like as we've hit the trade deadline? Do the Red Sox make a move?
They really want a shortstop. I don't think they'll get Zach Neto from the Angels. That's who they want. I don't think they're going to get C.J. Abrams from the Nationals. That's who they want. But they're going to sniff around and try to improve. It's too bad Meade got hurt right away when they made the big trade. Got hit by a pitch, only 2 at-bats. But they want another bat in there. Now they're sniffing like, a possible World Series. So I think they'll be very aggressive to get some kind of bat today.
Let's keep it the American League. Bob, if you, myself, and our producer, Addie Bates, put together a slow pitch team, do we win the AL West?
How about AL Central? But no, you're absolutely right. It's unbelievable. The Astros, remember, they were like 15 games before, 14 games below 500 in May. Mm-hmm. Everybody says, oh, they should start dumping guys. Are they going to trade, Alvarez? Are they going to trade Pena and everything else? And look at them. They're in first place with 2.5 game lead, and they're 2 or 3 games above 500. But yet, that's how weak the division. Remember now, back in if you go back to that strike year, 94, 95, if the season had ended then, the AL West winner would have been about 10 games below 500, I think.
Oh, it's gross. Last thing I got for you, Bob Nightingale, joining the Drake Toll Show. And again, appreciate you being up early with us on a day as busy as this, giving us your perspective. In the National League, the Dodgers still heavy favorites right now to win the pennant and to win the World Series. For the Braves, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Cubs, for these teams that are trying to add today, trying to get better today and possibly compete, is there a hope? Is there one team you see in the NL that has a true shot at being better than the Dodgers in a postseason series?
I think realistically the only team capable of knocking off the Dodgers in National League are the Phillies, just because you have that 3-headed monster atop the rotation. With the Sanchez and Wheeler and Luzardo. Got a great closer, Duran. So obviously got some big boys in there with Harper and Schwarber. So I think they're the only team capable of doing it. Atlanta's got Sale. The Cubs have got some nice pitching. Brewers have Mizorowski, but they just don't have that other guy to go with them. That's what I think the difference maker was Skubal.
Bob Nightingale, at B Nightingale on Twitter from USA Today, joining the Drake Toll Show. Bob, again, incredibly appreciative of your time on a busy day like this, and best of luck today. Surely, let's hope your phone stays charged.
I got the charger right here. Thanks so much, Rick. I appreciate
it. There he goes, Bob Nightingale, giving us perspective on the trade deadline today. This afternoon, Major League Baseball teams have the opportunity until midday, August 3rd, 2026, to make a move. Do they buy? Do they sell? Do you trade? Where do you go if you are the Phillies to bolster? Where do you go if you're the Red Sox and you want to win? Where do you go if you're the Toronto Blue Jays or Detroit Tigers and you want to blow the whole thing up? And where do you go if you're the LA Dodgers? Straight to the World Series with your brand new addition, Tarik Skubal from the Detroit Tigers. Whoa. Geez, dozens of texts that have rolled in today, dozens of phone calls. We'll cover it all again tomorrow, and how the LA Dodgers, the salary cap, how all of Major League Baseball looks to one organization, one franchise, and says, you ruined it for the whole. You ruined it for the other 29. But that's incorrect. The Dodgers, they're just doing what's within their legal bounds, and Major League Baseball is giving them some breaks, no doubt. But you want to ask the Dodgers to stop doing what's legal? Why doesn't your team? Huh? The LA Dodgers have built this. From the farm system with a ton of valuable trade pieces. The Dodgers have built this with an ownership group that wants to spend. The Dodgers have built this from going bankrupt 15 years ago and getting a break on their TV deal. They've built this. And kids are watching it. Kids are watching Shohei Ohtani. They're watching the Dodger Tarik Skubal. Baseball might be growing with the growth of the bad guy. It's Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. It is the Drake Toll Show. It's time for our Music Monday. Addie Bates has 5 songs, 5 seconds of each of the 5 songs. Let's see if Drake Toll can guess them. Let's have a little fun at the very end of this program. Song number 1, please, Laura. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Is there a money theme happening today?
Maybe.
Oh,
money I'll give you a point for that. Yeah, I'll give you a point for that.
Yeah! All right. Song 1, please, Laura. It's like a Depeche Mode.
This is proof that you don't listen to me, because that is Blue Monday by New Order.
God bless America. New Order, Blue Monday. I need to listen to more Blue Monday. Happy Dodgers Day, everybody. All right, song number 2, please, Laura. Okay, I always get them confused, which I shouldn't, but I do. God, that cat is loud. Is it David Bowie?
No.
Billy Idol? Is it Billy Idol?
It's the OJs, For the Love of Money.
All right, song 3. Linkin Park.
Dominic Fike.
Oh, I like Dominic Fike, too.
She Wants My Money.
All right, song 4. The song is Money by Pink Floyd.
Woo! Good job, Drake.
Yes. Song 5. For the Love of Money, the Beatles.
It's the Beatles, but you never give me your money.
You never give me your money. All right, thank you. Tarik Skubal is a member of the LA Dodgers. We'll talk about it a whole lot more tomorrow. You better, you bet. It's coming up with Nick Costos. Addie Bates produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Thanks to Bob Nightingale for joining. Thanks to you for joining. Over a dozen calls and texts today. Dozens of texts, over a dozen calls today. To Colin Jones, Armin Williams, Bruce Gilbert, Ryan McGuire. Thanks for giving me a job. When we come back, it will be tomorrow, and we'll talk more Dodgers, Tarik Skubal, and the MLB trade deadline. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This has been, always will be, the Drake Toll Show.